Happy Monday, everyone. We are kickstarting off this holiday week with some strength. We're gonna have some fun building the intensity to Thursday, leading you into the holidays. It's gonna be a good time. I hope you all enjoy it. Let's get going. All right, what we got for you guys today? Wide stance, good morning for 5 to 10 reps. Side lunge for 6 to 10 alternating reps. Standing lunge for 3 to 5 aside. Plank to bear / down dog for 3 reps, which you're gonna alternate between those two, and I'll show you what that's all about. You'll hit that for 1 to 2 rounds, and you're gonna tackle your first work set. So again, very similar movements to the last 2 weeks. So we're building off of these. We'll notice a few differences. What we have for you guys is 3 to 5 rounds for the Goblet Squad of 5 at a 303 tempo. So a little less volume than last time, so it's not too bad. Last time we hit, I do believe it was 15 reps, and a little bit more, all right? But we're backing it way down to 5, give you a chance to kind of back things down, take some volume down. That also gives you a chance, if you have access to heavier dumbbells, to hit up some heavier loading, or just stay the same and take this week as a chance just to work with a little less volume and give that body a chance to recover. From there, we have a single leg RDL for 5 reps as well, 3-second tempo down, normal stand up. Then you'll rest for 20 seconds. You'll move into a PVC Overhead Squat for 15 reps. So that's going up a little bit with the volume for a 303. And then a deadlift for 3 reps at a 303 as well. So also, again, it gives you a chance to either intensify the loading, or it also gives you a chance to work with a little less volume. So take it for what you need it. Have some fun with it. We'll enjoy. And you'll take a 90-second rest and hit that anywhere from 3 to 5 rounds. Moving into the next phase, again, same movements as last 2 weeks. Dumbbell floor press, we're again taking the reps back by quite a few, going to 5 reps at a 303 tempo. Dumbbell flies for 12, keeping those the same at a 6-second eccentric, so 6 seconds down. Rest 20 seconds. Dumbbell bent row, 5 per side for 3-second lower, and then a dumbbell lateral raise for 12 and 90-second rest in between. Taking that down anywhere from 3 to 5 rounds, and having some fun with some strength. So let's get you warmed up, ready to go. Start the week off the right way. We'll see where it takes us. Alrighty, guys, let's get her going. Let's get our feet underneath those hips. We'll take the arms up big and tall. We're gonna shrug the shoulders, and then we're gonna reach it over to one side. From there, we're gonna come back through, reach it to the other side. We'll come back up. We're gonna scratch our back and then reach through the elbow. Coming back up nice and tall, we'll stretch overhead, scratch your back again, reach through the elbow. We'll come back up, big stretch. We'll bring our hands to the hips, and we'll take those hips around nice and steady, nice and smooth. We're gonna take it the other way around, nice and steady again, just waking things up the proper way. We're gonna come back to center, feet together, gentle circles with the knees, making sure they feel okay, checking out the ankles as well. Other way. Good. And from here, we're going to just take a few nice, slow, empty-handed calf raises. So toes point straight ahead. We're going to press up onto the toes, balancing between big toe, pinky toe, and then lower nice and slow. We're going to squeeze and lift, and then we're going to lower nice and slow. Squeeze, lift, lower nice and slow. 2 more. Squeeze, lift, lower nice and slow. Last one, squeeze, lift, lower nice and slow. We'll bring our feet together, gentle little circles, nice and easy. Other way. Good, we'll come back to center. We'll step those feet out, take some gentle circles around the hips. Nice and easy, nice and slow. Good, we'll go back around the other way. Nice and easy. Back up nice and tall, big stretch. Forward fold, touch those toes. Walk up those shins, nice flat back. We'll come down, touch the floor, and then roll ourselves all the way up. Big stretch, clasp the fingers, press up and reach. And reach. And we'll come back to center and get you guys ready for action. If you'd like to pause the video, take down some lizard lunge work, please be my guest. Pause it, take it down. Do those up with some rotations, some twists, hip presses, whatever you need, we'll take it down. But for us, what we're gonna do, we're gonna start you through that first phase of warm-up, which is gonna kickstart off with our wide stance good morning. So I get myself into a nice wide stance. My toe is going to be slightly turned out. I'm going to squeeze my glutes, and I'm going to pull my hips back, softening my knees and keeping my weight through my midfoot so that my big toes stay down on the floor. I'm going to stand up nice and tall with a big squeeze at the top, and then I'm going to pull the hips back, nice and long, and then I'm going to stand up nice and tall. So again, I'm drawing my hips to the back of the room, and you turn and face this direction so you guys can see that. And my center mass stays right over top of my center line. So my hips go back, and that's what causes my chest and body to hinge. After the wide stance, good morning, we're going to move into the side lunge. And I'll start here. Same stance as my wide stance, good morning, except I'm going to take my hip to my heel, and I'm going to think about squatting. So I'm going to keep that chest up nice and tall, and then I'm going to push through that leg. I'm going to take that hip down, keeping that chest up nice and tall, and then again, push through that leg. And just work on that nice, smooth squat, even though I'm doing a lunge. So my chest stays upright from the front. You can see that my knee tracks my toe. I'm trying to stay as upright as I can, and this leg stays as straight as I can keep it. So take your time with those, you guys. There's no rush. We have 6 to 10 alternating reps there to open up the hips and get those glutes fired up. Our next exercise is our standing lunge drill. So I get myself in my squat stance, and I'm going to step and step into this nice balanced 50-50 position. So my weight is equal between the 2 feet. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my profile of this. So I set that same position up. I'm nice and square and set. What I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze my glute, and I'm going to lower down nice and slow, taking it to the floor or wherever I can so I can maintain my good position. I'm going to come up nice and tall. So I'm lowering my body straight down, keeping my knee stacked under my hip, under my shoulder, and trying to keep my body tall. The nice thing about the standing lunge is that I can take it as deep or not deep as I can, or as I need to maintain position. So it's a really good drill to work on building the strength and control for our lunge. Our last exercise is the plank to bear squat / down dog. So we're basically just going to do both of those, but we're going to alternate. So I'm going to set myself up in my plank. My hands are under my shoulders. My glutes and ribs get nice and tight and pull into that hollow. And I'm going to pull into my down dog, setting up the hips, come back into my plank position, and then I'm going to alternate going into my bear squat. So activating through those shoulders, nice and strong in between those ankles. Next rep, I come through to my down dog, setting the shoulders still, coming back through, and then pulling back into my bear squat. So really just taking my time working through both those positions. I'm trying to maintain that good shoulder position the entire time, regardless of down dog or bear squat. So the down dog, I get more extended in my back position and I'm reaching for the hip. My bear squat, I get into that nice set position and I pull my hips back in between my ankles. So I'm a low and a high. I don't care which one you start with. I started with the down dog that time. If you like to start there or start with the bear squat, your call. All right, so pick your adventure, have fun, play with both of those and see where it takes it today. Great little warm-up set. As a quick recap, we have our wide stance, good morning, for 5 to 10 reps, side lunge for 6 to 10 alternating reps, standing lunge for 3 to 5 a side, and a plank to bear / down dog for 3 reps. 1 to 2 rounds, taking that through, warming yourself up. Pause the video, take that down, have some fun with it. We'll move to that next phase, which is going to be our lower body work set. So our next phase starts off with our goblet squat. So our goblet squat is going to use a single dumbbell. All right, if you have access to different weights at home, you can kind of go a little heavier today because there's only 5. Or you can stick with the same weights you've been using for the reps and just take the volume down and use this week as a chance to just lower the rep scheme and work well with that lower rep scheme. So the goblet squat, my dumbbell comes up under my chin. It's nice and close. My feet are in my regular squat stance, so just outside my hips to shoulders. I'm nice and solid. Then I can take my hips to my heels. My chest stays tall, and my knees track the toes. I stand through the midfoot where my balance is going to stay throughout the entire motion, and I stand with good position. So from the side, I stand tall. I take it down, those same positions, hips to heels, that nice smooth tempo of 3 to 3, and stand through the midfoot. From there, I'm gonna go directly into my single leg RDL. And I'm gonna stay facing forward for the first couple reps, and I'm gonna hold my dumbbell to the front. So my toe is planted just behind my heel, and I'm gonna hold my dumbbell to the front by both bells. I'm gonna pull my hips back towards the back of the room. The dumbbell's gonna come to the knee, and then I'm gonna stand tall, really isolating the glute and the hamstring. I can also hold the dumbbell to the same side as my balancing leg. So I pull back, keeping the shoulders square, and stand. Or I can take it to the side of the leg that's staying down as a or a kickstand, and I pull the hip back, and I take it to the knee, and I stand. So you can see from the side, all right, same leg in the same position, all right, I pull my hip back, just like my good morning. My knee in the front is soft, so I get that good engagement through the hamstring. But we really want to focus on the pullback to get the body moving in that hinge pattern. From my RDL, I'm going to hit a little rest, and then I'm going to grab my PVC, my broomstick, my hockey stick, and I'm going to go through the overhead squat. So the overhead squat with my PVC has my feet in my regular position, so toes are slightly turned out, feet are underneath the hips or outside and inside my shoulders. I'm going to pull my wide grip up overhead into that snatch position. So nice and solid overhead, wide grip overhead, and then I'm going to take my hips down towards my heels. I'm taking this down nice tempo, working on pressing the bar up the entire time, and I'm only going to take myself down to the depth that I can maintain the overhead position and my squat. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see profile. Remember, this is a very taxing squat, so we have to think about pressing into the bar and holding the bar in the exact place we want it the entire time we squat. So even if you take your squat a little slower than 3 seconds, it's not a bad thing. It's going to allow you to take the time to feel the position and really make sure we're staying strong overhead. So have fun with that, you guys. Don't worry if you can't get as deep as you normally do with, say, the goblet squat or an air squat. Just take it down as deep as you can maintain those key positions with the overhead squat, because it's going to build and get stronger over time. After the PVC overhead squat, we work with the deadlift. So with the deadlift, we have 2 dumbbells, or 1, it depends, but we're going to work 3 reps. So the dumbbells are going to be held to the side. My feet are going to be underneath the hips. I'm going to stay nice and tall. And I'm going to pull the hips back, just like my RDL. So I'm standing profile so you can see. The dumbbells stay in line with my body. My hips go back, my hands come to my knees, and I take everything down. And then I stand tall. So I get the hinge pattern first. Once the dumbbells come to my knees, I take everything down to my desired depth. I don't want you to worry about going all the way to the floor. I just want you to worry about getting down as far as you can maintain that back position, because that's the most important part, is that good hinge back. Quick recap for you guys. We have 3 to 5 rounds. Goblet squat of 5 reps. You can go heavier, you can stay the same. 303 tempo. Single leg RDL for 5 aside at a 3-second eccentric. Rest 20 seconds. PVC overhead squat. We're adding some reps this week, so you get 15 of those. That's going to get pretty spicy. 303 tempo, and then a deadlift for 3 reps at a 303 tempo. So we rest 90 seconds, repeat, repeat, repeat for your desired amount of rounds between 3 to 5. Pause the video, take down that first work set. It's a tough one. It's going to burn the legs a little bit, but it's going to be a good work set. Follow me along to this next phase. We're going to work on the upper body, which is also 3 to 5 rounds. You can choose your desired volume for that. So we're going to kickstart off with our dumbbell floor press. So I'm going to grab my dumbbells again. I'm going to lay on the floor, just like I was going to do a bridge. So I'm going to put my feet nice and flat. My heels are just going to be outside my fingers. I'm going to get my dumbbells so they're stacked over top of my wrist. So my hands are right over my wrist, so my arms make a little, my elbow degree I should say is a 90 degree. My armpits though are at a 45 degrees, so there's some space away from my body and my elbows. My low back is neutral and my shoulders are pinned together nice and strong. I'm going to squeeze my glutes. I'm going to press my dumbbells up so they finish over my chest. And then when I bring them back down on that 45, they're going to be at that nice solid position at my sternum. So I press up, finish over top of my shoulders, I pull down, finish by my sternum. So nice and smooth, nice and strong, and pull back down. Something we have to watch out for, I'm going to turn this way so you can see a little bit, a little angle. We have to watch out that we make sure our arm stays nice and stacked and doesn't collapse towards our chest. We want to make sure that that wrist is nice and stacked over our elbow and it stays strong the entire time and not collapsing in. So it's just something to keep in mind as we're pulling the dumbbells down, keeping that nice stacked elbow and wrist, just like a push-up. So that's where we're going to build that strength off of with that push. After that, we have our flies. And with the flies, you can use lighter dumbbells. I have one set that I can use for everything for the demos, but if you're going to have 2 sets of dumbbells, the heavier goes for the floor press, the lighter will be for the flies. So I'm going to set myself up, same position as my bench or my floor press, except I'm going to press my low back into the floor. So I hollow out, my dumbbells are up parallel to each other over top of my shoulders. I'm going to take them down to the side, 6 seconds lower, as I open up through that chest. I'm going to take it as far as I can, and then close the gap. So if I'm lowering and I feel my low back or my chest start to pop off the floor, I'm going to stop that range of motion. If I can get all the way to the floor, I'll take it there, but if I can't, that's okay. You're going to take it to your desired range so you can maintain that position and we don't break through the ribs. So we have 12 reps. It's quite a few. All right, 12 reps at a nice slow pace. So 6 seconds down is a very slow tempo. I'm just gonna face you guys so you guys can see. If I was looking at you from the top down, you would see hands coming out to the side in that T position. All right, so it's very, very important. And then we close coming straight through. So just so you guys can see what my arms are doing there, face on. Our last 2 exercises, all right, are going to be a dumbbell bent row. So I get my 1 dumbbell, maybe get myself on my bench, my ottoman, whatever I've been using, chair. I have my knee stacked under my hip, my hand under my shoulder. I'm going to be tight through my mid-back. I'm going to let my shoulder kind of droop down a little bit. I'm going to engage by pulling my shoulder back and then pulling my dumbbell into my low rib and then lowering back down at a count of 3. This is very important that we control both ends of this movement and we don't turn it into a bouncing slash momentum kind of exercise. The down is the only thing that's tempo, but the up can be relatively slow as well so that you're not whipping the body. You want to make sure it's a controlled pull, but the lower is the only one that's technically got a tempo to it, but make sure it's a smooth, engaged pull. All right? So the bent row is a great way to build that upper back strength with that row. So we have 5 per side with that with a 3-second tempo. Our last exercise is our dumbbell lateral raise, and that again is going to be lighter. Like the flies, it's going to be a lighter exercise. So if you don't have access to lighter dumbbells, grab some cans, grab some water bottles that you fill partially, because you're going to hold the dumbbells to the side, palms facing down, feet are under the hips, glutes are tight, nice and tight through the core, and I'm going to lift the dumbbells to the T, palms stay facing down. So we're controlling them up to that T position and back down. There's no tempo here, but it's nice to give yourself that little pause at the top just for a brief moment and then come back down. You'll notice that when I'm doing this, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see this. I'm going to get rid of the dumbbells too so I don't do anything too nasty. But you'll notice that when I do this, I'm using no momentum. It's just lifting through my lats and my lateral side body. I'm not busting out one of these. Yeah. I'm not hinging and pulling up with the dumbbells. I'm just standing and lifting and coming back down. So if you don't have access to light dumbbells, like I say, cans, any type of resistance is perfect. It's a nice way to go. Or if you have a resistance band, you can stand on it with the 1 foot and do 1 side at a time for 12 and then switch sides and go for 12. So you can kind of experiment with that a little bit, see what you got access to at home. If you have questions on that exercise, please ask. It's kind of a weird one, but it's a nice one just to get some extra burn in that arm and work on some little stabilizing muscles that are a little harder to tap into. Quick recap, you have 3 to 5 rounds. Dumbbell floor press for 5 at a 303. Dumbbell flies for 12 reps at a 6-second eccentric. Rest 20 seconds. Dumbbell bent row for 5 at a 3-second lower, and then we have our dumbbell lateral raise for 12 reps with 90-second rest in between rounds. Take that down, have some fun, see where it takes you today, you guys. Remember, you can mix and match the rounds. If you got time for 5 and 5, awesome. If you want to do 5 to the lower, 3 to the upper, that's totally fine too. Or if you just bust out 3 and 3, that's also fine. That's a lot of work. Any variation, that's a ton of work you guys are taking down. So enjoy, have fun, work for quality, and we'll come see you tomorrow with a slightly higher heart rate. Bye, you guys.